Hello, hello, beautiful stars. Hello, hello. Happy Friday. It is Valentine's Day. It is February 14th, 2025. Good to be with everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Yes, good day, good evening, whenever you're watching this. In 2025, in 2055, groovy. Thank you for being with us. All right, beautiful stars. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about healing during the AI age, the age of AI. Now, I will tell you this is going to be a bit of a shorter message just because of my schedule today. And it's kind of, well, I think you'll all be able to track with me. I think so. Before I reveal the sacred geometry card of today, which is delight, I am delighted to be here with you. The world is full of delight. Go out and see it. Go find it. Find it within yourself. I actually want to talk about Valentine's Day for a minute. There's so many people that I see that really, it's like they're against it. And they're against the commercial aspect of it. But when we look at Saint Valentine, as to what the holiday here, especially in the States, is referring to, Saint Valentine's Day, this is the day he was martyred. February 14th of 272, 273, like the year 270 something. So let's put this into context, and then we're going to bring it up to today. 270 something, folks. Well, that's after death, right? That's after death. That is a very long time ago. That is a very, very, very long time ago. To put that into context, I mean, the Knights Templar wasn't even really a thing. Not at all. That did not come until they were in full effect like 100 years or 1,000 years later. They weren't even formed really until like the 900s. And then they're in full effect in like 1100, 1200. So try to put that into context of how long ago this beautiful being who they are thinking he might have been a bishop of some sort. Here's the thing. Christianity wasn't even really formed in the context of what we know of it today. Nor do we really know anything about this man, when he was born, where he came from, really, what was going on with him until the years leading into his death, which was today. He was beheaded. My goodness. So, think about this. He was in Rome. He is grown. Rome at that time was a catch-all, be-all, do whatever you want. It was full of disgusting behaviors. I mean, the humans were just living in every sin that they could possibly imagine, because why not? Why not? Right? When in Rome. Oh my Lord. And now there's this guy who is trying to establish a faith that talks against that sort of thing. And he did miraculous things. That's what others don't know, is that to become a saint, you actually have to do a lot of things within your life. There's got to be signatures. Here's a story. He was arrested at some point, for, talking about Christ and this concept of Christianity, and we can do better. And the judge, he pleaded to the judge to let him go. And he was giving his argument of, hey, just because you don't know what happened with this Christ consciousness, this Christ figure, and this is so long ago that it would not be in the context of today. I'm really trying to stress this. It was only 200 years or so after the death of Christ. A very different time. The scene were still in effect. A lot of miracles were in effect. It is not the playbook of today. So he was giving his argument of like, I should have the right to believe and talk about this stuff. There were miracles happening, miracles that can happen based out of what has been witnessed, seen, heard, done. So the judge went, okay, if there's miracles that can happen through this faith of yours, the judge had a blind daughter, and the judge said, heal my daughter. Have her, heal her, make her able to see. And if you can do that, I'll let you go. Well, Valentine, Bishop Valentine, put his hands over the girl's eyes, said some kind of prayer, and when he removed her hands, she could see. He performed a miracle right in front of this judge based on his knowledge of what Christ would teach. And the judge then let him go, also sat with him for a long time, trying to learn about this stuff. And the judge ordered basically people in the village and town to start learning these things. A very different scope, very different time frame, right? We don't know, beloveds. He Saint Valentine could have been same as Saint Germain. He could have actually been 300, 400 years old or something, a part of the scene, a part of a group of people, a part of all sorts of things. As we reference Saint Germain, who we really don't know how long he lived. Heck, he might still be here. Who knows? What I'm saying, what I'm trying to express is that we only know when he died. There could be a chance that he had fellowship with the Christ consciousness. He learned how to do all these things. He was a part of a movement before the next wave of movement to spread the good word, quote unquote. We don't know. But we do know that he did enough miracles. And we do know that his main objective, which kudos to Saint Valentine, he was in Rome for the majority of the years leading into his death. And he was talking against the debauchery. He was talking against, y'all, things that should not be going on. He was trying to have people understand it is better to have a commitment of intimate love with another, commitment of love with a friend, commitment to self and the divine, which, if you've been here for the past few Fridays, that's exactly what I've been talking about. Healing and loving self to self, self to others, self to the divine, but a commitment, integrity of showing up for yourself, showing up for someone else, showing up for the divine, and vice versa. That's needed. That's needed in all forms of healing, all forms of evolution, ascension, whatever you want to say. It takes a commitment, a commitment. And so he's saying the same thing. Why is it that 2,000 years later, we're trying to say the same thing in this world? It's wild, man. That's just so wild. And then, of course, Rome, with how big Rome is and how, Rome really just liked to party in horrible, sadistic ways. I mean, all of the sins, right? Um, he was beheaded on February 14th. That beautiful being who was really just trying to help people understand there's another way. There's another way of living. This is not fulfilling your soul, how we're living now. This is not fulfilling. This is detrimental to your consciousness. So when we celebrate Valentine's Day, like today, maybe take that into account. So many people, I think it's like it's somewhat of a spectrum of, different degrees. That's the new word for degrees, right? In hermetics, they talk about degrees. We now in today's world say everything's on a spectrum. Come see, come saw is, tomato, tomato, what have you. So there's going to be the people that love Valentine's Day. Yes, love, 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 love. And then there's going to be the people that, it's a commercialized event. It's horrible, you know, hate it. And then there's going to be people kind of in the mix of, I will acknowledge it. I will not do much, but I will acknowledge it. Maybe we're acknowledging it not in the same light as we should. Maybe we should go back to the title that it is given, Saint Valentine Day, to honor what he was trying to preach and teach. The commitment to self. We don't want to live in debauchery. It does not fill our soul. It does not help the ascension of our consciousness. Self to others, have commitment to one another in intimate ways and just general love. Stop hurting one another. And to the divine, represent that you love the divine, right? The reason this is how Valentine's Day became what it is. Okay. So after the martyr death of Saint Valentine, and then he becomes a saint, which is much, much later. There was no like saints in 272 when he was killed, because it wasn't even a thing to recognize these people until way later, hundreds of years later. And then they went, wow, that guy then that we don't really know nothing about, but we have some of these stories documented, and we now actually live in that faith that he was trying to tell us for the most part, right? Wow, he's probably a saint. He was probably doing miracles all over the place. He was trying to represent, show, and demonstrate and manifest things for people and talk about love. He talked about love so much. So he is now the saint of what they would say courtly love. Maybe at Stars of the Morning Light, we'll just call it Courtney love. Oh, that's too funny. Of courting someone, of showing people that, hey, let's date, let's just be selective, let's courting, right? It's unfortunate. People don't court that much anymore. The courting process of dating and developing relationships. But he was the saint of then love, courting, love, commitment to one, and friendship. And I'm sure he mixed the divine in it. Same as we've been talking here for the past 3 weeks. Moving it forward. How Valentine's Day even came into being is there was a feast. There was a day in of February 14th that the Catholics definitely would recognize Saint Valentine. The day was already represented, but it was not the hallmark of today, right? It was not the take your partner out on a date and tell them you love them and give them a card and some chocolates and whatnot. A cute little teddy bear. The Catholics were already celebrating Saint Valentine on this day to in the remembrance of what he was preaching. Love, commitment. Love yourself, love another, love the divine. Well then, geez, I want to say this was kind of the mid 1950s here in the United States. This is how Hallmark came into play. Okay. So this wasn't all that long ago. Not mid 1950s. Not that long ago. There was this little card shop. And card shops back then, they sold stationery, cards, wallpaper, books, all sorts of things. It was kind of a hodgepodge of household items that you might need. Well, someone working in that shop had a brilliant idea to put a bunch of cards, blank cards, in the front window with a sign that said, write a letter to your loved one like you used to. What that meant was during World War II, many people, especially here in the States, I cannot stress this more, my own family, I am here because of one of these marriages. Because of the fear of war, couples that might have not even known each other for too long, my grandparents knew each other, um, like all of 2 or 3 weeks, and grandpa was going off to World War II, and so they got married. The kitchen table that I use was the wedding gift to my grandmother that the family didn't even know who she was. Grandpa said, "Hey, we got hitched. Take care of her when I'm gone." And so they gave her some kitchen stuff and the kitchen table. I still eat on that beautiful German made table because they don't make it like that anymore. So many Americans did that. And we all understand why. When you're going off to war, you really want something love, a committed love to dream about, think about, give you hope, give you a reason to keep going when things get really tough. That is what commitment can do. Well, during the war, though, letters were written back and forth nonstop, nonstop. And of course, all these letters were very thoughtful and love and steamy and sexy and all sorts of things, right? And it was frequent. Every day, these men and women, partners, loved ones, family members, brothers, sisters, parents, writing letters constantly. We have all the documentation. We know this occurred, but then the war stopped. Thank goodness, right? And everyone's now back home. And anyone who's been in a committed relationship for a while, there is a point that you might wake up and go, who the hell did I marry? Or who the hell have I been in a partnership for this long? Committed. And what happened is then by the mid 50s, things were becoming much more commercialized. Keeping up with the Joneses was a definite thing here in the States. TV was coming into play, which we're going to talk a little bit about technology today. Clearly, healing in the age of AI. And also, now you're married to somebody that you only knew for 3 weeks. And you daydreamed about and put all these expectations on who this person is going to be. Men were coming back with a lot of PTSD. Women also during that time, because a lot of them had gone to work, they got a sense of their freedom and a taste of a different kind of life when the men were gone. And now we are trying to make this beautiful, sunny society that behind closed doors was definitely not the case. And the love had just faded, 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 adultery, all sorts of the mix. So this beautiful little gift shop put that sign up and said, hey, write a letter to your loved one like you used to. Meaning, you don't hate this person. If you could have love for them in your words then, you can do it again. And it might help to say thank you for everything you do for me. To say I love you regardless of your faults. To say I still think you're the sexiest one out there. And over time, this idea, man, people were coming in nonstop to buy these cards. It was not designated to a day. People were buying these cards up with this idea of like, that's right. We need to get back to that love, that spark, what it was before they left for the war. I'm going to write them a letter like I did then. Maybe I'll put a photo in there. So the idea took off. Well, then within about 3 years or so, a modest, moderate, but much more well to do at the time card stationery shop called Hallmark um, bought the creative rights to that concept, to just the concept of remind your loved one that you love them via a card. Well, Hallmark purchased the creative property rights of that idea. And then over time, they ran with it. And then over time, they went, whoa, everybody celebrates love and committed love and love of family and friends on this St. Valentine Day, especially the Catholics. Why don't we, for marketing purposes, kind of hone in on this one day and make it a big thing? We can make merchandise happen this time. And I have to sincerely say, okay, because we all go through the holidays feeling the love. I love you. Oh, thank you. Oh, I love you. Yes. Thanksgiving, I'm grateful for you. Christmas, I love you. You're beautiful. Family, friends, life, committed relationships. And then we go through the dark winter of January. It is the dark season. It is the wolf moon. It is dark. And that darkness starts to seep in. And we all start, especially in the northern hemisphere, start to complain a bit more, start to nitpick more, start to, ooh, I've been stuck in this house with you. You. So why not put a holiday that's already there because the beautiful man was beheaded on today, who was just trying to spread love and work miracles? Could have been like a Saint Germain, could have been a being that we don't know to the magnitude of his grace and love and magic. Why not put it on today? Because you know what? It's winter time. And we all need to remind our loved ones, hey, I'd rather curl up with you. I'd rather eat popcorn and watch a movie with you. You I love. Thank you for going out there every day and doing what you got to do. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. You I love. You I love. You I love. So I am not against Valentine's Day. And if you are against the commercial aspect of it, then don't participate in the commercial aspect of it. That's on you. That is on you. It always has been, and it always will be. If you fell into the mix of that because of expectations of people, places, and things, still on you. Take responsibility and don't participate. Here's an example. You know what we're going to do in my house? My husband loves beef stew. I could take it or leave it. He hasn't had it though in a very long time because the cost of meat. Well, it just so happened 2 days ago, I saw, wow, that's a pretty damn good price. You know what my husband's getting for Valentine's Day? Beef stew. There you go. I love you. Thank you. Right? You, I love. Here's some beef stew because I know you enjoy it. That's it. Is that commercialized? Do I have to go out and do anything? Do I have to buy a bunch of stuff? No. No. I have to say, you, I love. Which we covered a lot last Friday. You I love. So I know that was a long take on Valentine's Day, and what today represents. But I would love for people to really take in the time frame and the mystery around who Saint Valentine really is. He could have been a being who lived for hundreds of years and we don't know. We don't know until they beheaded him, which, yeah, that's going to end it. We don't know. But the message was beautiful. Committed love, self to self, self to another, self with the divine. It's the same message I've been doing for weeks now. Isn't that wild? That 2,000 years later, the same message has to be said. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Kim. Kim just said beef stew. How sweet. Exactly. You know, it doesn't have to be anything. I don't keep up with any Joneses. I do our life, same as all of you can, right? And with that is the sacred geometry card for today. Number 19, delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we invoke in others. I will hold this up. It is a very bright card, folks. Look at all that light. That's like the sun bursting. Oh my goodness, take that in. For everybody who is experiencing um, very intense weather patterns, especially here in the States, in the Northern Hemisphere, we are with you. Please be safe. Um, Poor, lovely seeker of truth, too. We are definitely with you. It is reported that near where you are in Northern California, you all might get 10 to 12 feet of snow. Please be safe. This weekend here where I live, I don't know what's going to happen, but it could be tornadoes, it could be a massive flooding. Still thinking about all of those in North Carolina. Okay, Kim is saying, I believe Kim is in Oklahoma. Good to see you, my dear. She's saying it's cold there, 18 degrees. Whew, no, thank you. So, across the board, the flooding happening down in LA after all those fires, they're not used to that so much. Oh, Kim, you're in Ohio. I'm sorry. Hmm, why did I think Oklahoma? Ohio. Girl, you're fixing to get it too, okay? Oh, beloved Ohio. Beloved Ohio. Yes. So everyone be safe because it's going to be coming across. It's wherever you are, it's going to be hidden. My sister tried to fly to my mother this weekend in Biloxi, Mississippi, and she had to stay. The flight was canceled. She had to stay overnight in a motel. She's still trying to get to her today. The weather is a thing. So have compassion with ourselves and others. Be safe, be aware, be conscious of your actions. I do know that in March, everybody, I will be um, reporting and talking about what is going on with the earth and definitely how do we work with it and not against it, especially with growing vegetables, crops, tending to our own needs, securities, what have you. So, Kim just said she lived in all of the O states. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, that's got to be some. Maybe that's a part of your past life, Kim. You really like all the states that start with O. So, delight, delight. This show was titled Healing in the Age of AI. And I wanted to go actually into St. Valentine, not just because of the day I'm recording this, but also for the time frame. I kept stressing, okay, that was in like 272 when he was martyred. That we can barely put our minds around that. Then I bring it into the 1950s here in the States. For some reason, it's still even hard for younger generations. I'm sure most of us in the chat now, we can put our minds around it. But I saw a post from a lovely person that I adore so much on social media, my friend Ash. She posted something the other day about like the free market of AI. Like, how's AI going to roll out? Who's going to be able to tap into the resources and create AI, that sort of thing. I don't know much about it. But what I do know is people are scared. People are, on this degree spectrum thing of either they're very terrified of AI and who's going to control it, or they're very lackadaisical and don't pay attention to it and don't care. And everybody else is kind of in the midst of things. What was interesting is in her post, I was reading all the comments, and which when people comment, and please comment below, I read a lot of comments on social media to get a gauge of where people are at with things. what degree on this spectrum of thought are people at of this experience? And wow, lots of different opinions. But the way she had phrased her post led my mind automatically went to how interesting it is how quickly we forget. And it is partly due to time speeding up. And we do know this. Time is speeding up. Even in physics, they're proving it. But how quickly we forget. So think of those who lived before television. Some of those in the chat and beloved people here that watch Stars of the Morning Light, thank you. They didn't have TV growing up. They did not. And definitely our grandparents didn't. Hence like World War II and before. When TV came out and TV started to become more of a thing and more of a thing and more of a thing. Oh, and now we got this thing called cable. Whoa, what is cable? All of those networks were buying and trading and selling air. That's what it's called, air. Because all of that was transmitted through airwaves. And if you are not a patron of Stars of Morning Light, I completely encourage you to join us because we are learning how all is energy and we're fixing to move into motion and waves. But that was a big thing. Think of just the standard farmer out there who's reading in the paper this thing about airwaves. What the hell is that technology? I mean, that was big. And then they're buying and selling it and trading. And I swear you're reading the word air. How do you buy and sell air? Big for the common, everyday Joe out there. What is going on? What's this technology? It wasn't until every household had a TV. Every household was experiencing more channels and more channels and more channels. Cable. Now we got this little clicker instrument that instead of having to turn and mess with the antennas, this is all just fed into our household. I'm saying this because lots of people are terrified of AI. Well, lots of people were terrified of this thing called airwaves. I mean, growing up, it was still like, whoa, those big antennas, those big electric, all of it. It was don't stand too close. Don't stand in front of the microwave. All that radiation. So yes, I'm showing my age a bit. I mean, the majority of us watching Stars of the Morning Light, we did not have a microwave when we were young. And then all of a sudden microwaves happened and cable was happening and it seemed rapid, fast. Whoa, look at this technology. Danger, 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 danger. Don't stand in front of the microwave. When my goodness, everybody stands in front of the microwave now, don't they? They're waiting for that to heat up. How is it not the same with AI? How is it not the same? Just because we don't understand it? Just because we don't really know it? Just because, wow, how far is this going to go? Who's going to control it? Well, who controls the airwaves? So I'm bringing this into context because this is healing with the age of AI. Same as the airwaves. What y'all might not know, I can see it. There is a ton of subliminal messages through the TV. And it's really easy for me to see it when I fall asleep in front of the TV And then I kind of wake up and I'm coming to, and the screen's right in front of me. I can literally see what is behind the image. There's a ton of subliminal messages. Same as there's a ton of subliminal messages via all of the social media, on top of the actual in your face messages. What happens with the brain is we take in every day an enormous amount of subliminal messages. And even if you don't watch TV, you're conscious of what you choose here on the internet. You try to stay off of social media. Does not mean that you're not being hit by subliminal messages. Every billboard, every sign that you walk into, when you go to the grocery store, you ever stop and stand in the cereal aisle? So many subliminal messages. And they use very ancient coding for those messages, by the way, in many cases. So no one is not receiving that. I mean, well, no one that's listening here. There might be a few random souls out there that live in the sticks and don't, speak to anyone or do anything. But if you're here and listening to this message, you are receiving at some point in time a ton, a ton. What happens with the mind is that your mind takes it all in. Your eyes and ears take it all in. The conscious though, immediately everything it's all being dumped into the subconscious. It's all being dumped in the subconscious. And then it's decided consciously what we will focus on, what YouTube channels we will watch. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please subscribe, hit that like for me, leave a comment below. That is decided consciously what we will pay attention to. But all of that subliminal stuff comes through. All of it. This is why our dreams in 2025 and moving forward, our dreams are going to be wild, folks. That does not mean everybody's a dream worker. I am not a dream worker. But man, my dreams been wild and they're going to continue. It's because the subconscious is working even overtime to relieve and dump and get rid of the trash of the subliminal messages. So dreams are going to be wild, and it's not always dreams that you have to read into and try to sort out and figure out. It is in a lot of ways garbage out, garbage in, garbage out, garbage in, garbage out. And our subconscious works hardest when our conscious mind is at rest. So this is just, I wanted to inform people of that because it's going to be even, you're going to hear more of this. My dreams, my dreams, my dreams. Not all of it is that you're a dream worker. Not all of it needs to be analyzed. Oftentimes, a dream is a dream, and your subconscious is working on your best behalf. It always will. Your subconscious is for your betterment every time. Also, because time is speeding up, therefore, the downloads of all of this subliminal stuff is also going to be speeding up. So, what used to be 8,000 messages in a day is going to be 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. We're going to be taking in, taking in, taking in, taking in, taking in. So, to really help yourself truly heal, And we've been talking about healing in different ways for the past few weeks. And it's not something I'm going to stop talking about. 2025 is a lot about continue to heal, commitment to self, heal, right? Build the trust within yourself, with another, with the divine. And trust can only begin to be built if healing has begun. I was talking with Lucky Stone 888 last Saturday, and I said a whole lot in that stream or that show about fifth dimensional consciousness living. But what I forgot to tell everybody, so I'll tell you now, is prior to even practicing the compassion of fifth dimensional consciousness living, I had already spent 15 years of uh, an extreme amount of healing, an extreme amount of healing for at least 10, 15 years before I even attempted to start practicing compassion for self and others, to sustain fifth dimensional consciousness. So I'm sure Lucky and I will get back to it at some point. And so you all know, Lucky and I will be live tomorrow night on his channel, Lucky Stone 888. Please subscribe to him because we will be live there tomorrow night, Saturday, February 15th, 2025. And man, does he got a topic for y'all. I don't even know which way this is going to go. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. Lucky might even dupe me at some point. Who knows? Show up, have fun, be in the chat because it will be live, so we will be able to communicate with y'all. Heal, heal, heal. So, with this being said, because this was going to be kind of a short show today, I wanted to cover Valentine's Day to put it into perspective of that was then, this is now. Think of the time difference, but yet we're all still saying the same message. How can that be? How can that be? It's because we need to heal. And now we're entering in a time that's going to make it even more harder. It's going to be harder, right? First of all, choose consciously as best as you can. Yes, your time frame on social media. Folks, I have to use social media for my business. I don't hang out on social media though. I do not scroll like others may scroll. I get there, I post, I do my thing, peace. If you are in the first like five of one or two swipes of my thumb, that's all I'm going to look at. So if I don't see your stuff, I don't see your stuff because I don't hang out there. Conscious choice. I choose what I watch. To the point, folks, that last night I had to turn to my husband and I went, "What does Doge mean?" Because I don't know what DOGE means because I don't listen to it. I don't listen to any of the charades. I don't listen to any of the fight. I don't listen to any of it. To the point that I don't even know what stuff means, but yet stuff just keeps filtering out there as if we do. Very selective. How many positive things are you listening to of affirmations, enlightenment, encouragement, support, delight, delight, delight? Or how many channels are you listening to that seemingly over time, unaware, are now full of hate, anger, fear, It's going to happen to more and more channels here on YouTube, more and more churches, more and more social media, what have you, more and more shorts. The division, the separation of things, and the idea of commitment is commitment, no matter what. Love, love, love. That's going to slowly be taken away, slowly washed away by people's fears. So we have to be conscious of what we're choosing. And with doing so, I'm going to show you one technique here at the very end of this because I got to get moving and rock and rolling today, folks. I want to remind everyone, and I will always say this, it's a choice. Are we in love or are we in fear? Are we in love or are we in fear? And fear manifests itself in so many ways, even in that despicable behaviors of Rome in 200 something AD. Fear, can drive all of the 7 deadly sins. Fear, fear of commitment, fear of committing to oneself, another, in genuine love, and commitment with the divine. I will be coming back to this, folks. So, what I'm doing right now, and there is a beautiful free video to the public at Patreon of Stars of the Morning Light. The link to the Stars of the Morning Light patreon.com page is below in the description. I put a free video out there recently for just tools you can use in 2025. And this is one of them, folks. So I encourage people to go to Stars of the Morning Light on patreon.com. Become a free member even, because I will be putting out free stuff. Now, those who pay the $5 or $8 and higher of the tiers, they get all of the classes that I teach, though. And I will tell you, the classes are extensive. There's a lot going on, and you get a library of intense, wonderful classes that can reshape and the classes started 2 years ago with an immense amount of healing stuff. And then we moved into various things. The students there are changing lives. So, this is one of the techniques. And this actually came from my teachers, I should say, about 2, 3 years ago. And they said, hey, put this out there to everybody. My teachers were Sri Ram Ka, who passed last January, and Master Lady Kira of Tosa Blue Mountain in Ecuador. Beautiful beings. What I'm doing here, folks, taking my index finger and my thumb and, you know, um, knocking those two together, placing them together, moving them up and down, touch, touch, touch. What I'm doing here is this starts your own internal energy. It says, wake up, wake up, wake up. We all have internal energy. And sometimes, especially in the winter, I love, especially in the winter, we need to kind of wake it up, jolt, right? It's always good to drink a nice cold glass of water in the winter. If we're not going to dive into the ocean, let's drink a nice cold glass of water. Go, whoo, oh, that just shocked my system. Wake up, wake up. This wakes up our internal energy, right? So we take the index finger that we just woke up. We place it in the center of our eyelid, right where our eyes kind of take that round turn. We're going to place it there, not hard, but we're going to push gently on it. We're going to come around We're going to go over the temples. As I pull my hair up, I'll show you. We go behind the ear and we go up. We go to the base of the neck, up and down. What I'm doing, and we'll do both sides. This is a brain swipe. So before you go to bed, if you just spent an hour scrolling because it caught you and you missed all sorts of time scrolling, do this, please. It swipes. And I have, over the course of a year, done this a few times with people. I even talked about what it's doing in the brain, what markers it's hitting, all sorts of things. That's not what I'm doing here. I am literally showing you so we can start implementing this practice. Once again, this is also taught more in depth, at the Tools for 2025 free video on Patreon. So let's do it together, everybody. Let's do it together. We're going to put our middle fingers right in the middle of our eyelids, where our eyes are shaped to turn. We are going to push down slightly, pull back past our temples. Oh my goodness, it feels good. Around the ear. Oh, geez. Around the ears, down to the base of the head, up the head, and back down the neck and shoulders. Whew. I went past the temples and all of a sudden my sinuses went, please do it again. So, brain swipe to help with the AI. We're going to come back to this. And also, I know that Lucky Stone 888 and I are going to go into big discussions about AI, the Matrix, everything, coming up with Esoteric Tea in the next few weeks, months. Lucky and I are going to explore a lot of this in discussion form with Esoteric Tea shows on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Saturday, live over at Lucky's. So, y'all, happy Valentine's Day. I love you dearly. Jackie J came in. Good to see you, my dear. Kim, great to see you. Yes, it's great for headaches. And what gives us headaches? The airwaves, the transmissions, the AI. Woo! All the subliminal messages. We will keep covering this. Yes, it helps with all sorts of stuff. Please, people, start utilizing it even more so. And I'm going to probably keep reminding folks. Seeker of Truth, you and Neil, beloved, be safe with the snow. Everybody, please be safe with the weather. God bless you. You are an eternal, beautiful being that shines, shines, shines. You are the delight for me. I am the delight for you. You are as I am. I am as you are. Thank you, beloved. You I love. I am committed. Happy Valentine's Day, people. Cheers. I'll catch you on the flip side tomorrow night, live at Lucky Stone 888. Bye, guys.